Australia and the United Kingdom are about to sign one of their most important defense agreements ever, which includes a $27 billion pact on nuclear submarine. Australia and Britain held talks in Sydney on July 25 on boosting cooperation, including deepening their commitment to the AUKUS nuclear submarine partnership. Britain's Defence Secretary John Healey and Britain's Foreign Minister David Lammy were welcomed by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in Sydney. This meeting was held ahead of talks focused on boosting trade ties and progressing the AUKUS partnership for Britain and Australia to build a new class of nuclear-powered submarine.
Today, we are on the brink of concluding a treaty between our two countries in respect of AUKUS and Australia acquiring a nuclear-powered submarine capability. This is a bilateral treaty between Australia and the UK, which gives expression to the trilateral treaty that our three countries signed in the United States, in Washington, D.C. in August of last year. It is as significant a treaty as has been signed between our two countries since Federation.
On July 26th, both countries will ink a 50-year treaty focused on building nuclear-powered submarines. This isn't just another deal. Australia's ministers say it's the most consequential bilateral agreement since Australia became a federation in 1901. And it's happening during a time of rising global tensions and shifting security priorities. The treaty will be signed in Geelong, near Melbourne. It's meant to support and strengthen the existing AUKUS pact between Australia, the UK and the US. That pact, signed in 2021, allows the US and UK to help Australia develop nuclear submarines. But this new treaty is bilateral, just between Australia and the UK, and will underpin the AUKUS effort. Australia's Defence Minister Richard Marles called it a profoundly important treaty. He was speaking at a press conference alongside Foreign Minister Penny Wong, near Sydney Harbour. They were hosting UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy and Defence Secretary John Healey as part of the annual Auckland Talks, short for Australia-UK Ministerial Consultations. So what does the deal include? According to the UK Foreign Office, it could bring in up around $27 billion in exports to Britain over the next 25 years. Under the agreement, the UK will build up to 12 attack submarines. These will be jointly operated by the Royal Navy and Australian Navy, under the SSN-AUKUS program. More than 21,000 people are expected to work on this submarine project in the UK at its peak. UK Defence Secretary John Healey called it a historic treaty that confirms AUKUS commitments for the next half-century.
It's clear that the UK-Australia relationship is an anchor in what is a very volatile world, providing stability in troubled waters and a relationship that holds steady whichever way the geopolitical winds are blowing.
Now, here's how the AUKUS rollout will happen. First, Australia will buy Virginia-class submarines from the US, which is expected to arrive in the early 2030s. Then, by the 2040s, the UK and Australia will begin building a new submarine model together, the SSN-AUKUS. But here's the catch. The Pentagon has launched a review of the AUKUS deal. Because the Trump administration wants to ensure the US defense industry can meet domestic demands, and also push allies to take more responsibility for regional security. Just to be clear, this new deal does not replace the AUKUS agreement. And while AUKUS is currently under review by the Trump administration in the US, both Australia and the UK are optimistic. Minister Marles said all three countries are confident about the AUKUS progress. He also welcomed the US review, calling it a chance to renew America's commitment.
We are doing so, and the AUKUS partnership is one that does not cost the US taxpayer any more. Indeed, we're putting more in, Australia and the UK.
Meanwhile, on July 27th, defense and foreign ministers from both countries will travel to Darwin. There, they'll observe the UK's Carrier Strike Group deployment, which is part of Exercise Talisman Sabre 2025. So while AUKUS continues to evolve, this new Australia-UK treaty lays the foundation for long-term defense collaboration and sends a strong signal amid changing power dynamics in the Indo-Pacific. For more news and updates, watch Mint News.